I don't know, like I feel I have a different connection to each track. Like talking about a 5-year process, you know, and each song kind of like coming from nowhere to, you know.
Let me ask you a different question.
Yeah.
What song stands out to you the most on the album?
Bro, like, what are we talking about? And I actually couldn't touch music for a bit. Every time I would touch it, like, I would have anxiety. Couldn't make anything for a little bit. But then there's other times where it's like, all right, maybe you need to not try to be an artist right now and just kind of just be a human and, like, take time to deal with these thoughts and take time to deal with these things. And then when it's time for you to write about it, it's time for you to write about it.
We don't park when we round them parts. Sky ain't even dark. Wait him up, he ain't even parched. He ain't even far from my block. Drive the homie home. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. Coppers keeping watch. They ain't bother us. We still take another avenue.
What's good, guys? It's your boy Sima, your boy Delux, your boy Ronto, your boy BlckkStar. We have a special guest here. Tell the people of your name.
It's Clairmont the second. What's going on? AKA Uncle C, you know what I'm saying?
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
The second.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Before we start this episode, I would like to thank Sir Travis Knight for shouting him out last video. He definitely gave me that idea to, you know, reach out to you because I've been seeing your thing, your stuff, your music, the progression, but, you know, him saying that, I'm just like, all right, like, why didn't I ask him, you know? But, yeah, like, just tell the people about yourself.
Yeah, man. Bro, I kind of do everything in regards to art, whether that's music, production, making videos, editing videos.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, just kind of anything that encompasses the word art.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tapped in with and been doing that for a while now. The career's been going for an official like 10 years now. So, yeah, man.
You've always had a creative mind.
Yeah, but like even before like I started doing this as a career, like musical family, stuff like that. Like everybody does music, everyone does art, siblings, whatnot, cousins. So it was kind of like only a matter of time before I picked up one of these things, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Would you say it was hard, like deciding which one you would pick?
Nah. Like I think. For me, I was always interested in just doing anything and everything. So, like, I don't really have to pick, you know?
Okay, so you see how I said jack of all trades? You know, there's also the flip side to that statement, master of none. How do you feel about that?
Master of one, no?
None.
Yeah.
Because they say that you can be good at a lot of stuff, but you can't master one thing because you're doing so much different things.
Yeah, I definitely feel that sometimes. Like, I don't know, like I want to be a better like musician. I want to be better at like the piano. I want to be better at the drums. You know, the problem comes in where like I'm spending so much time doing other things. Like I can't dedicate the amount of time that I need to dedicate to these instruments.
Yeah.
As the people that I want to play like do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I feel like it feels like that sometimes. Like, but in a sense, you're kind of like a master at being a jack of all trades.
That's a very interesting.
I never thought about
You know
it.
what I
Like
mean?
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, and then like, you know, I have to give myself some credit, like with the things that we've been able to make and put out, like they're really well done, you know, even though like I want to be better at specific things, like I can't deny the fact that when all these things come together, it makes a product that's undeniably great. So
yeah, because they got you to this point, right?
Exactly.
Where you know you're making like quality music that people like myself and us are like paying attention to.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Yeah, like I think that I definitely will have those moments where I'll be able to dedicate more time to specific things, but it's kind of just like whatever my life calls for at the time. So like right now, it's just about, you know, putting out and dropping whatever it is that I've been working on. Yeah. And then, you know, I'll probably take like a good year of just like straight piano practice. You know what I mean? And, but yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Okay, that's tough. That's tough.
Thanks, man.
So, your name, Clairmont the second.
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
That's my name.
Your name is
Yeah,
Clairmont.
Clairmont. Yeah, Claremont the second.
Name.
Yeah,
Clairmont
that's the
the second.
first.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap. Okay.
Okay.
Simple.
So I just ran with it. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Okay.
That's crazy.
This man's born with swagger.
Yeah. Born with the sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. So, your album
Yeah.
just recently dropped. A lot of positive reception.
Yeah.
I've been
It
seeing.
seems so.
Yeah, like a lot of people have been posting it. Like the visuals, like I was looking over some of it. Like the visuals were crazy
Thanks,
for your
man.
last couple of videos.
Thank you.
And like we talked, and you said that you did most of the
Yeah.
directing and videography on yourself.
Yeah.
So how does that feel like having you being your own team?
Yeah. I mean, so like I direct all the videos, I edit them, and then I film some of it, and then B, who's over there, also films.
Shout out
like
to her.
yeah, anything that you see me in, and then like half of the shots that are just like whatever it may be, like is her. So we kind of just like I was always shooting my stuff and like trying to shoot whatever I could, and one day I'm like, hey, do you want to just film for me? So we just kind of been doing it ever since then.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, like the visuals is, I always make sure that the visual component is strong, but I also make sure that the visual component is like intentional to the project. It's more than just kind of making a certain amount of music videos or even making music videos that look good just because I'm putting out an album. It's because the album called for it. You know what I mean? I don't think every album needs videos and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think it's whatever that artist wants to create, whatever world they want to build.
Yeah.
So for us, or at least for me, like I just knew which songs needed a video and things like that. And I've been putting so many years into practicing and just learning the art form. Like we really wanted to like hit heavy with these ones, especially with like the amount of time I've been taking working on this project and how long I've been gone without putting a body of work out. Like I think we just really wanted to make a statement like, yo, we're kind of just like,
You're so
Still
young.
here.
we're ill. Like, so yeah, man. Like, and there's still more videos to come. Like, they're not done. And then we have stuff planned like for next year up until a year from now. Like, we're kind of coming heavy with like everything.
Okay.
You mentioned your work with direction, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting into that. Going to be doing some documentaries.
Okay, sick.
But I wanted to ask you, like, where do you get your sense of direction from? Like when you make these videos,
Yeah.
like what's your inspiration for them?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of, well, of course, film, like just period, but like to dive deeper into that, like there was, I think definitely like in the 90s, a lot of the hood movies, a lot of the black movies in the 90s, like they played a big part in where I've taken kind of my visual identity. And then, of course, like just specific movies, like just kind of like all the greats that people talk about, you know.
What's one of your favorites?
Yeah, you have to drop one.
I feel like you're a Boys in the Hood type of guy.
Sorry, who?
Boys in the Hood?
You know what? I didn't even. That's the one I've watched the least out of like all.
Really?
Of them. Yeah. And like for no particular reason, I
feel
just
like-
think
I'm thinking of Juice.
Juice?
I've watched
is
Juice
a
quite
good
a bit.
one.
Yeah, Juice is fire.
there you
Yeah,
go.
Juice
I
is
feel
fire.
like that's the type of vibe I got from your I think it was Valid. Like Valid
Interesting.
did it. Yeah, that was the type of vibe I got from that video, or just like your style in general. I was actually gonna say like I get a lot of like LA.
Interesting. Yeah, I've
80s
heard
vibe
that. Yeah.
when it comes to listening to your music.
Like I think so. My biggest like visual inspirations come from the blaxploitation era in the 70s. A lot of those like really black, you know, afros and like with the crazy suits. Like they used to shoot on a particular film format that gave it a particular look. And I've always gravitated towards a look. It was like a crunchy kind of like high contrast. They were using, I believe, it's called color reversal film, like 16 millimeter. That plays a big part in.
Did you go to school for any of this, or
No.
you just did your research?
Yeah,
Really?
Okay,
YouTube
okay, that's
University?
dope.
Nah, just University of Life, just internet, you know, and and then like the 90s and just like film in like period, but like you know, Gary Gray, Rick. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it's like Fama U. I can't remember, but he did some 90s like some amazing 90s flicks. I'm a big David Lynch fan. Obviously Stanley Kubrick, Park Chan-wook, like a lot of Korean cinema. I kind of like it. Wes Anderson, like there's a lot more. There's like a big list, but like there's like specific movies that have like stuck in my head from a storytelling perspective, but also like a visual perspective and like specific eras. But also in the 90s, like there was like a specific energy that I like, and I think that
What type of energy? How would you describe it?
It was just fly. It was just fly, bro.
Yeah,
like
everywhere. Like
it was,
everyone had their own sauce. It
wasn't like us now where everybody kind of follows a certain trend. Everybody, I know what you're kind of talking about, where it's like everybody was kind of experimenting with different styles.
There was a
stuff.
lot, bro. There was a lot, and then even just like
the colors too, like
the colors, bro. The outfits, the language, the pacing, and how people like spoke, like all that little, like the little nuances that like. That are kind of dead today. Yeah. I think it just gave the 90s like a real like just like fly saucy like just energy, and I just try to recapture.
So would you say that's your favorite era of hip hop? 90s? Yeah,
I don't know, man.
What would you say your favorite era is?
Favorite era? It's hard to say because like some of my favorite I don't know, it's kind of balanced. Like I think that there's just highlights from all, and drawbacks from all. Like I don't know what I listen to the most. I think that it's hard for me to even talk about hip hop as in depth as I would talk about like gospel music, because that's what I grew up listening to more.
It's funny that you said that, because Sir Travis said the same thing where he grew up with gospel music. And like I think even Jermaine Dupri recently, he's like, yo, there's like an absence of artists that are in the church, and you can tell in the music because it's not really soulful. It's like it's kind of dead.
Some of the best singers have come out of church.
Literally,
Whitney Houston and great singers. Like
because you had to practice,
constantly.
Yeah, you had to like you couldn't suck and do that. Like I feel like in a lot of genres, or at least in a lot of popular music these days, like I feel like it's been promoted to kind of take the short route and the easy way out, and like everything has been about, they've been creating things for for creators or artists or whatever it is to make things easier for them, as opposed to people kind of doing the research and like actually practicing and like developing these skills, because I assume people want to be successful, and I assume they want to be successful for a long time. And if you want to make it last, like you have to have some skills. Like you have to know what you're actually doing. You can't, like one day, like that stuff's gonna come in handy. And like the stuff that makes our legends is the fact that they practice and they take what they're doing like seriously.
And you kind of touched on it really, like, and I think that's the biggest point for any career really. It's like the practice component, like the 10,000 hours. Like everyone, like I'm not gonna lie, I feel like people say podcast mics are too accessible. I think the mic is too accessible sometimes too. When you go into the studio and stuff like that, you might be like, oh, this is my first time, I'm gonna drop a banger. Probably it's a stinker, to be honest. But I feel like it's also the people around you too, because they need to be in the church. I've been in the church. They're honest with you, like whether you want to hear it or not. Like, so I feel like in the studio, it's the same concept, but it's a little like, it's not very truthful, right? If you drop something that's not up to standard, up to par, people are gonna tell you about it on IG, on the comments, or on YouTube. Be like, yo, who paid for the studio? So that's a big component, is the practice, right? Practice makes perfect, especially in the art game too, right? You can't just come in with that ideal that like, yo, I'm gonna be the greatest out there. You gotta learn, you gotta humble yourself and be like, you know what, like, you gotta learn from your craft.
And even if you want to be the greatest, you have to back that up now. Absolutely. Like you have to do that. You have to do that work, So like, but like as you said, like in the church, like they'll tell you. Like if you suck, they'll tell you. Like if it's one of those churches that like maybe don't have enough people for the choir, enough people for like the worship team or whatever, like they'll let you fly. But like, if there's enough people like
now they're going crazy.
They don't really need you.
They don't need you. You'll know if you're good or not. You know, and it's the same thing too from the singing to the musicianships, like the musicians and the musicianship of your playing and all of that. Like that all doesn't fly in church. Like and when I look at the best performances, they're never. Like, there is amazing rap performances. Like, there's been shows I've been impressed by, but, like, the best ones I've ever seen are all gospel performances. These guys, the conditioning is on point. These guys are jumping around. The vocals are not wavering. Like, just a different level of practice that, like, I just feels dead. And
we all need to see more of those.
It's unfortunate, but, like, you mentioned legends. And one of them just dropped the album. How do you feel about
GNX? Yeah. I like it. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay,
what's your favorite on that?
It's either TV Off, but it's GNX. I think it's GNX. GNX, like that beat, that's some next shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that beat is like that's
Who made that?
I don't know.
I didn't even know. I didn't even check the.
But that GNX beat, tell him Kendrick did it. That whole shit. Yeah, like that.
There's one of them where I think people are saying that he sampled Dragon Ball Z's background music.
Did he?
Where Goku's going to Ultra Instinct.
No, you probably
which one
seen
it
a
is.
pose.
It's probably a meme from the mustard.
Oh yeah.
Mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. I heard that Turn the TV off for the first time, and I'm like, why is Kendrick in my ears yelling? Like, I don't need this nigga yelling at me.
Yo, bro, there's some things that need to be addressed. You know what I mean?
Facts.
The way he's charged right now, like I know exactly what he's on, bro. Like,
And you know what? I seen something on Duke's podcast. Shout out Duke. He made this reference to Menace to Society with the GNX car, actually, because if you know that he was in the back seat of the car, and then so that was a reference to that, and then in the video apparently when he dropped, there was a lot of references to like Menace to Society, where he's like, oh, just because I could kill you means I could do it again, kind of thing. So obviously it's a shot at Drake, and I was looking at that Duke video, I was like, whoa, like that was actually a good thing for me.
Yeah, you didn't even take it in.
I didn't even take that in, no.
Yeah.
He's not playing.
Wait, what was your guys' favorites? Each one of you.
I think for me it would have to be Reincarnated, and it's mainly because the level of storytelling in that song is crazy, and it's like a reference to Tupac.
Channeling Tupac.
Yeah, it's Made Niggas by Tupac, and I've always heard that instrumental, but I didn't know where it's from, so it made me do my research, and then I heard, like I listened to that song like bare times, like probably 10 times when the album came out, and I was just taking different bars and like. I'm still trying to figure out who he was talking about because he said he reincarnated 2 different times.
Yeah.
What my guess is like the first one would be probably Prince. Who do you think? Because he mentioned it.
He always like mentioned that like. If Drake's Mike, I'm Prince.
Which year was he talking? Because he mentioned the year.
I don't remember the year. But
I listened to the album enough yet.
I could be completely off, but I think the 2 people that he said that he reincarnated with, he didn't say it, but like I'm assuming that this is what he was talking about was Prince and maybe Whitney because the drug addiction. But he got into details. I'm like, I don't really know.
Which song was this again?
Huh?
Which song was this?
Reincarnated.
Okay.
I didn't get past GNX. I ain't listened to nothing else yet.
Now you need to listen to it. Trust me.
It's good.
GNX is my favorite.
Right now, I think I'd say my favorite is Luther.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really nice song.
That was tough.
Yeah, I like the chemistry with him and SZA. And I know that's gonna be like a cool club track. Like
and SZA has 2 songs on that, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Loyalty with him and Rihanna. It's the same type of energy. Yeah.
That's kind of like what I caught too. That like I found that the Luther's with him and SZA, right?
Yeah.
I found that beat was
Luther Vandross
was a flip on. Is it Father Time? What does Kendrick have on Mr. Morale?
I Lucy listen to the album.
You gotta search it up. I don't even blame you.
Yeah, that's actually so funny.
I'm sorry, it's gonna bother me.
Y'all go check us out on Spotify. Drop 5 stars as he checks for the song on Spotify.
Yeah.
And
like, comment, subscribe. Also, let us know what type of songs you were fucking with on that album. And theories, thoughts, and all that.
Yeah. So Father Time is the Kendrick track.
Yeah.
And then
and also check us out on Twitch. We're streaming right now. We stream on Monday, so tune in.
Not this song. I'm thinking of the. Is it Gloria? I'm thinking of Gloria. Yeah, Gloria.
I even like the storytelling on I think the Hard Part 6.
Yeah, like hearing about TDs come up. Like I enjoyed listening to that too.
But I was kind of disappointed in him.
This one. Gloria, I think, is a flip of like, I think like the beats are pretty similar. Like the chords.
To Luther?
Not Luther. It's Gloria on this one, and then Father Time on Mr. Morale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wonder if that was intentional or. I don't know. You know, Kendrick's always doing some
like
some wire.
the triple entendres, you know.
Yeah. I love hearing all the theories that people come up with on TikTok.
Yeah.
So wait, we talk about Kendrick's album, but what was the name of your album?
They said it would rain.
They said it
Dot,
would
dot,
rain.
dot.
Dot, dot.
So why did you pick that name for the album? I was actually gonna ask you that because I hate the rain, so I'm like,
that's crazy that on this sticker there's an umbrella and
yeah. I hate the rain, but you know, like maybe it gets better.
I like how you did that. I like how you did that.
Kind of on the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say too much about the next project, but at the end of the album, there's a phrase. It's kind of the same vibe.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they said it would rain. It was like, you know, just kind of how you don't like rain. Like rain is usually associated with kind of just like not great, you know, bad, gray, like cloudy and stuff like that. And I just found that, you know, over the past like 5 years working on this project, like there's just been a lot of moments and, you know, a lot of situations that, you know, kind of had me in a bad place, really negative place. And, you know, but at the end of the day, like, you know, that's why there's my fault. That's why there's the ... at the end. You know, they said it would rain, and like it's kind of everything, you know, bad like that could happen, or like things that people might say they might, you know, try to rain on your parade, whatever it is, like anything associated with kind of that concept.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like when choosing, I like choosing album titles that kind of just like sound like phrases. So like my last like 3 projects are just basically phrases. And they said it would rain just like sounded perfect to me. But I actually even got to that point because I already had came up with the name for my next project. So I ended up kind of like working backwards in a way. But
it's funny that you mentioned they said it would rain because actually coming here today it was raining.
It was
So like, the coincidence is actually crazy.
You know, God's doing things, right?
And then you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but I kind of want to take like, so the title kind of makes reference to a little bit of like mental health. So like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, man, I think that it's important to take care of that. Like, you know, give yourself some grace. Take some time. If you got to just take some moments to yourself to figure things out, you know. The past 5 years, I've been trying to adjust to the many unpredictable changes that I didn't see coming, and whether that was personal or in the world. And I definitely didn't do it the right way in terms of just like, if there's somebody that you can talk to somebody. Like if you have a friend that you know, you could have these conversations with, do that. Like whatever you're going through, like if it's really eating you, if it's really, don't try to fight it alone. Like I did that. It's not fun. It's difficult. At the same time, I'm grateful for the way it happened because like I was able to pick up certain skills and certain tools that, you know, have prepared me for the future. And like, I'm still actively working on it, you know. I don't know what the answer is to kind of like fixing everybody's problems because there's no one answer. Everyone's different and everyone's going to take things different. Like certain advice is not going to work the same. I think the most powerful thing or the most important thing is really being able to know yourself and being self-aware and identifying what works for you. Identifying like, what do you respond to? What do you not? Like you need to kind of have like some sort of like willpower to, you know, even if it's picking up a pen and writing down like how you're feeling, like
the outlet. You
know what I mean? There's it's the simple things. It's the things that people don't really view as much as you know, something that could change an entire situation. But like it starts in the small things. And
self-awareness is key.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very key. But I actually wanted to ask you, so you know, I feel like with most artists, their music is therapeutic for them. Would you say that is for you? Because some people just, you know, just go in the booth and just say whatever, and it's kind of just like kind of a chore.
Yeah, not.
How do you feel about the creative process when you're making music?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's. Yeah, man. Like it really just depends on, because there was a time period where had some bad like situations in regards to music and just like the business and whatnot, and I actually couldn't touch music for a bit. Every time I would touch it, like I would have anxiety. Couldn't make anything for a little bit, but then there's other times where it's like, all right, maybe you need to not try to be an artist right now and just kind of just be a human and like take time to deal with these thoughts and take time to deal with these things, and then when it's time for you to write about it, it's time for you to write about it. Yeah. I think you shouldn't force your pen, shouldn't force your hand, you know. I mean, practice, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, pace yourself. You know, you don't want to burn out before you even get started.
It actually reminds me of something that happened with Bryson Tiller and DJ Khaled.
Okay.
I don't know if you know it.
I'm not tapped in, no.
So, no, it was a situation when Bryson Tiller was coming up, and he was like, he had a lot of anxiety when like he first came into the music industry. So he was doing a song for DJ Khaled. I think it was Wild Thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was seeing that he was going through some heavy mental health stuff, and he told Khaled, and Khaled just like put it in the music.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm thinking like, yo, like you're seeing, yo, sometimes it's just hard to write music. I can imagine that's probably what he was feeling at that time.
Yeah.
But like Wild Thoughts is like a big song.
Yeah, it's a big record.
It's like sometimes like you miss out on a banger without those raw emotions.
Yeah, I think that you definitely, whatever you feel at those moments, whatever, like you should definitely eventually, if you want to, put it in a record, put it in a song, put it in a video, put it in, you know, some sort of whatever that outlet is.
I think my question was, have you ever been put in that situation?
I've never been put in a situation where I was like, I had to write something real quick and I was like going through shit. Like I really just had to tell people like, yo, I can't work on anything right now. You know, like if it's like, I could try, but like I can't guarantee you anything. So like there was a good like couple years, like it was a good time period where I just like, yeah, look, I'm not doing anything. Like, but when I was ready to come back and it was time to get these bars off, like everything that I felt, like that's when I really barred. Yeah. And then once I put it out, once you put the song out, or even when you put it on the beat or whatever it is, I immediately start feeling lighter. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, don't force it. Don't rush yourself if it's not on your timeline, but like when it's time to go, like you'll feel it.
What's your favorite song on the album?
The whole thing, man. I don't know. Like it's
hard to pick your favorate kid, right?
Project.
It's too steady. Like
I don't know. Crash. Oh, it was like Crash Set.
People have been loving Crash
crazy.
Set. Man, like I don't know. Like I feel I have a different connection to each track. Like talking about a 5-year process, you know, and each song kind of like coming from nowhere to, you know.
Let me ask you a different question.
Yeah.
What song stands out to you the most on the album?
Bro, like, what are we talking about? Like, yo, bro, the album starts with a jazz record, bro.
Yeah.
Like off rip.
Yeah, why did you set it off so slow?
Bro, like that song was a stage set. Setting the stage of like, one, you're not gonna know what to expect because like, you know, people probably know me as a rap artist, but like not really. I kind of just do whatever. Like I've been doing music for a very, very long time and I've always been a fan of music. So like I always wanted to make what I felt like making at whatever time that was. And lately was not only like the perfect kind of showcase of like what we're really about to get into, but it really, if you take it in, if you're sitting down by yourself and you put those headphones on and you hear that it opens up, but it's a movie, bro. The whole project is structured like a film score. Okay. And like every project that I kind of put out is structured like a film score. So, and even that song lately, I made a short film in 2022 with some homies, and that's literally the intro song. Called? It's called Full Circle.
Full Circle.
And Full Circle came with a project also. It was 4 tracks. Okay. So like started with a jazz record, and then the song right after is the punches in the face, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I have a question for you. So what were some of your biggest hurdles when it comes to the filmmaking part?
The filmmaking part, I think it's just, it could just take a lot of time. I think like, for me, the biggest part is taking on the project, depending on what it is. Like if it's something that I don't feel
comfortable,
you know, or just if it's not natural, like it kind of, there's problems at every stage, whether that's like the conceptualizing, you know, or even just making sure all the equipment's ready to go, trying to follow a good schedule, trying to get stuff done by a certain time. So I think that like at every part of filming, like there's always, depending on what the project is, it's gonna kind of change, because like when I make a lot of records, I see the video off rip. So like
in your head,
in my head, it's immediately like immediately I'm like, oh yeah, I know what this is. And then sometimes it's like, you know, 5 years listening to different versions of this album, I'm listening to it in different situations. And then maybe I just listen to a song at the right time. I'm like, oh, now I know what this video is going to be. And then once I know what the video is, depending on how much I really want to work on it, it could be a breeze. It could be quick. Like some of the videos that, like the first video we dropped of like the season, it was in the summer. I did a record called Leaving the World Behind. And that video was a collection of just like stuff I've been shooting. And then also we took like 2 days of a week to kind of just go out and just film some performance shots, you know? And like that was like simple. And it was enjoyable. It was a hot day. Like the weather was nice. Like walking around the area and let's post up here, let's shoot this. And let's post up here, let's shoot this. So, you know, I think that hurdles kind of come at I think if I had to choose one that's the hardest, weather, yeah, maybe, because you can't control it. Like, and I think if the day is not like, you know, according to your plan, that could provide some issues. But I think that like even for depending on the video, sometimes it's just the editing part, like making sure that I have enough shots and like making sure I fit it in a way where like it tells the story I want to tell and it looks good, and making sure that I try not to reuse so much of the same shot so that it's always like fresh, like it's always like something else. It's always like, so also always, you know?
Earlier you said some of your hard times were like you had hard times, but like you learned a lot through it. For your journey of like doing everything that you want to do. So when it comes to learning your creativity process, like what's something that you've learned, or like what's something that you've used to like help you learn? Are you a book guy? Are you
I think I'm just like I don't know. Like I think the obvious stuff is more so like, you know, maybe I'll just watch some movies. Maybe I'll listen to some music. Maybe I'll play video games. Like those things are like the pillars of kind of like what make me who I am. Like video games, film, and music, or art as a whole. Like, and you know, those are the things that, you know, it doesn't always inspire something, but like if I think about things that directly inspire something, it's probably those times. But sometimes you just feel it. Like, I don't know. Like I think what I've learned is to take my time. I think taking your time and moving at your speed is the way that it should go for a lot of people. I think when people try to jump the gun, that's when issues start coming in. And just like being honest, you know, being yourself in the fullest, like those things have kind of like crafted like where I am today. And like, you know, just patience. You know, I spent years of just dropping a project back to back to back. And, you know, it's not that I was rushing it per se, but I was just antsy. I'm like, yo, like I need to get this project out. I need to get this one out now. But in recent years, it hasn't been the same. Like life kind of comes at you sideways and you don't know how to like adjust to it.
So you have to slow it down, adjust, and
definitely
make sure you're going the right route.
Yeah, definitely give yourself some time to breathe, you know?
What's your musical goal though? Like what's your goal within music?
Bro, I think
because you're getting like a little more, like you're getting emotion as you're dropping and stuff, and people are starting to like pay attention to the craft. So like what's your overall goal? Like, where do you see yourself?
I don't know. Like I know that I'm gonna be doing this forever. I know that I'm one of the best to do it. Like from production, like to the stuff I've made, like I've always been happy and grateful at like the progress that I've made on every project. Every project is like just heavier in a way that, you know, the last one wasn't. I feel like when I'm making something and I start impressing myself, that's when I'm at a good spot. I'm like, okay, but also it requires a lot of work. Like it requires putting the hustle in and getting that practice in. But I don't know. I'm happy in regards to what I've made and what I've done. And I have credits. Like I've produced for people. I've, you know, we've done all the things that somebody would look at a career and be like, oh, that's a successful career. I think that I just kind of want to be where I'm supposed to be. Like, I don't know how else to really word it. Like, I don't need to sell a certain amount of records. I do want to be bigger, you know. I would love to go on my own tour, which is like in the works and stuff like that. But like, I think a lot of my goals are based in just like what I want out of life more so, and just like I'm a simple guy, like, you know. I want a family.
You're a chill guy.
Not
if you
Kobe.
know, you know.
But you know, like yeah, like I want to make the best art that I could possibly make at all times. Yeah. And I want a family. Like, I want to move out. Like, I want to be stable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Very much so. You know,
the Canadian dream, man.
Listen, but yeah, man. Like, I know that everything that is supposed to come to me is gonna come to me. Like, I don't think it's a matter of the art, and like the art itself, what I'm making is to me undeniable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's just a matter of just getting it to a broader scale. I mean, I definitely have goals. Like, it would be cool to do that, but also my priorities lie in like making sure my family's taken care of. So if I've always said, or I started saying recently, that like Clairmont the Second is my passion project. So me as the artist is like, I'm not trying to do it for money. I've never done it for money. I did it because I felt like I had to. You know, I felt like God told me, like, this is it. You know, every single time I've tried to not do music anymore, it's always come back, you know. And like, this is, so I always knew that when I make an art piece, whether it's a video, a film, you know, this is something that I want to do. But if I'm thinking about money, maybe that would be more production work. Maybe it would be more, you know, mixing work, you know, stuff like that. It wouldn't be, I'm not trying to rely on what I do with Clairmont the Second to make money. I know it will when it's supposed to, but there's other things a part of, you know, this world that I could still be honest in and, you know, have fun for. But, you know, it's kind of like there's
Okay. So one more question before we change the pace of it. But do you have a collab that you want to do with anybody in the city or just anybody in general? Yeah.
Any dream collabs?
Yeah. Because I can hear you and Travis.
Oh, yeah. We spoke. Me and Travis have spoke. Yeah.
Exclusive.
Like, bro, this guy's like, he's like, what did he say? I think I just told him, like, yo, just, bro, hit me up whenever. He's like, actually, I'm like, yeah, I've been waiting on you to hit me up.
The Toronto hit up, man. I'm going to hit you up.
You AY, you have a song with Laz, right?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't. But shout out Laz too. Yeah, bro. Like, I think right now in the city, I want to do something. Tamir. I want to do something with. Some of my favorite artists to ever come out of the city is KJ or Kaita Juma, Matthew Progress. Those guys, bro, like when I was coming up in like 2014, 15, 16, like those guys were like my OGs. It was a group of people. Brother Aki, those guys kind of like there was such a cool scene that was going on during that time period that like people don't remember, and it cheeses me because like that's when the music was at its like most creative and like the artists that were coming out at that time.
What was it, like 2015, 2016?
Bro, from 14 up until like 17, I would say it was like a really sick period.
This was like the downtown, like what's in the area?
Mainly, everybody was kind of from all over, but yeah, like a couple West End people, like downtown. Like we were downtown a lot, you know what I mean? Like we were at shows, man. Like I feel like that era, Toronto was just in space, man. And like I've like listened to verses from like KJ and Matthew Progress, and like those verses I've been like, okay, like if I could write a verse this good, like that's how I know you know.
You're on the
so
right path.
You know what I mean? And like those guys, I think there's also a few other people, but yeah, right now I would say those are on my like. That's what I want to work with.
I feel like I was hardly there. 2014.
What were you doing in 2014?
What was
What were you doing? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. Yeah. What were you doing?
Oh man, wow. All right, let me ask you a question. You wake up tomorrow, and the year is 2002. What do you do?
2002.
What do you do?
Yo, that's a.
I literally have no answer.
That's not a thought of. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just hoping that it's June.
Yeah. If it's
2002.
2002,
A lot of good music came out around
music,
that time.
music was fire.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
PlayStation.
You know,
PlayStation.
PlayStation was
Didn't
crazy
GameCube
that
come
time.
around?
Jeez.
GameCube come out around that time?
was it a little bit after?
Something like
When,
that.
or was it before?
I think it was before.
It was before. Yeah.
It was like
before.
2004 or
before.
something like that.
Yeah, man.
Unks.
I feel like if I woke up in 02, I could do anything. Like, I feel like I could play video games, and the video games are gonna be fire. I could go to the music store and buy albums, bro. I'm pretty sure the Neptunes was like running shit at that time. Like,
Blockbusters were up.
yeah, all of that.
You guys
bro.
never stole something from Blockbuster, and they send the notice to your auntie's crib.
Yo, I think we have a couple of videos we never sent back.
Yeah. Nah, games were different around that time.
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely.
That was like PS2 days, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and like
The
the collection of
Xbox,
games.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that time period, man. That's a really cool time period. Like, what I was if I can remember what I was doing at the time was just a lot of video games, man. In school, obviously, but like, yeah, I just remember like everything, like especially in retrospect, like everything was just less tense, man. Like, it was,
Times were different.
yeah, very
Cost
much
of living
so,
was cheaper.
Cost
Everything.
20 bucks could have took you a long way.
Very much so,
Yeah,
man.
20
Like,
bucks was a lot back then.
Yeah, yo, a bag of chips was like 50 cents.
listen,
$1.
bro.
That
You guys
sounds
remember
nice.
the what's it called? Is it Hostess chips?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
Used to kill those. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hostess chips.
You don't even know them.
You don't even know.
Yeah, what
The
you're
little
talking about.
monsters, the little red, yellow monsters on it.
Yo, McDonald's actually had good toys.
Yeah, the
McDonald's had toys.
Actual
Do we even
toys.
have
Good
toys
toys.
anymore?
Actual
Nah, I'm pretty
toys.
sure they still do it. It's just trash.
they?
Nah,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
they're not as good.
It's
as
like
back
cardboard
then,
and
yeah.
paper and like.
Oh, have you walked into a McDonald's lately and it just looks
Nah.
like a
There's no soul in it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, bro, it
remember
looks
when they
like
had the playgrounds too?
You know there used to be a playground in your game on Mansell.
Yeah, I know about that one.
They didn't know that
Crazy.
back then.
crazy. Yeah, McDonald's now it looks like a dystopian film. Like it
Yeah.
looks like they serve you food on like a tray and it's just like
Yeah.
blob,
Yo,
like-
There's no
the robots
character
are
to it.
coming. The robots are coming in.
Bro,
Absolutely.
back to the sender. Bro, nah.
I swear though, there was a McDonald's in the area. I don't know if it was near Falstaff. It had that big play place and it had the GameCube games in there.
Yeah.
That was, and it had like Pokemon Stadium.
Yup.
Yo, that
Bro,
was
these kids don't even know.
Falstaff and
Yo.
Jane.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
a Falstaff
I had a
game.
birthday party there. Yeah, the GameCube was there in the street. Yeah.
I don't know if it's still there. I never walked into
The
it.
play place is it still there? The play place is not there anymore. They are renovating. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
they're like, taking it
They're-
out or
yeah.
making it? Wow.
No, they're definitely taking it out. They're about to make it look like another one of those like camps, you know, where they give you slop for food. That's what it looks like.
Okay,
crazy.
wow.
Bro,
Internment
you
camps.
guys remember when you can go to like a Walmart video game shop and then actually play the games
Yeah.
in
Games sitting
stores?
there.
Don't remind
Yeah.
me, bro. Like
That shit was actually goaded. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
you actually
everyone's
could,
shopping and you're chilling playing games.
yeah.
There's only a few places that still have that, but no one's ever at it.
It's pointless now.
I think Best Buy used to do it.
But, like,
The Source used to.
If you think
Everywhere,
of-
yeah.
If you
Best
think
Buy
about it, it was
still does
actually
that.
smart because it's like, all right, like let's say you didn't want to play the game or didn't want to buy the game, but you wanted to know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sit down there, play, and be like, okay, yeah, this is good marketing. You know what I mean? But games are too
You guys see
expensive
how
now.
like
Yeah.
nowadays the licensing agreement is that you don't actually own the game.
Yeah.
You are just basically borrowing it.
Basically.
So like even if you have the physical copy, that does not mean you own the game at all. They could shut down servers, shut down everything about the
Yeah,
game,
done.
and
That's crazy.
Especially because like all these games are like being required to be on the internet, you know.
yeah,
For,
you will not get your money.
even for offline games, bro, it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy.
Can't do nothing.
Don't like the gaming industry, man. What it's become, like, I have big beef. Like, it's changed. Like, other than the fact, like the obvious stuff where like mad microtransactions and like obviously the unfinished games, but it's like, bro, I can't get behind. I can't get behind when Sony and Microsoft decided to drop their next gen console in the middle of the lockdown when nobody was working. So they dropped it in the middle. They have it,
gouge it, all that.
bro. It's expensive. No one could even get it. So people are out here spending like 30%, 50% more than what it actually costs to get a copy. Yeah. They're calling it next gen, but like there's like no new games. Like everything was just like last gen games.
Right. Oh, yeah,
and like
version,
so
it's
not
still
only
kind of hard for them to catch up right now.
Yeah,
bro. These guys, okay. These companies have too much money, fam. Like there was a time period where if you made a video game and your video game was trash, your company was getting shut down.
Yeah,
right.
The next week,
so now these guys have so much money they could constantly crank out like mediocre, unfinished games, and their company is still going to be standing. Like
Ubisoft.
Say it sucks.
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Bro, everybody knows
what's
about
happening to
Activision. Like greedy, just greedy.
Oh, also, how do you feel about companies like Sony making certain games exclusive and then Xbox like buying Activision and stuff? Even though they didn't make certain things exclusive to them, like they could if they wanted to.
Bro, I just have beef with the whole thing. I just think that I don't mind the acquisitions of companies if they actually do something and like there's good games somewhere, or like above decent games somewhere. But if it's a thing of like mans are just like buying companies for the sake of power plays and stuff like that, it doesn't really do anything for us as gamers. Like it doesn't do anything for us. I just want somebody to get back in the office and make a really good game.
Really good.
Like
game.
And stop trying to sell me certain things that I don't want. Just make a good game, price it decently. Like,
because I think Sony wants to buy Rockstar, and imagine they make GTA 6 exclusive to
that's crazy. The fact that that's even a conversation is nuts to me.
That's wild.
But they're definitely getting Firm Software, which has specific games. I forget which ones.
Yeah, bro.
I swear the video game market is the only place where you're allowed to have monopolies on things. Because it's like, I don't think it's regulated. I don't think people look at video games as like, oh my God, like it's that end all thing. Like if certain games are for PlayStation, like I know Xbox had Halo.
Yeah.
But
it used to be like that, though.
I don't mind the exclusives, as long as there's good exclusives.
It used to be like beef between Sony and Xbox. Though.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, are you a Sony or Xbox guy?
Or a Nintendo guy?
Bro.
Yeah.
I don't really like.
Whatever,
I hate them all right now. You know what I mean? Like I hate them equally. Like for me, like majority of the stuff I'm playing is from like 10 years prior. Like like it's.
Or we playing like Dragon Ball, Budokai games.
Mainly
Street Fighters,
like the NBA Street V2s, Def Jam, but then like, older than that, like
so mad I missed that era of Def Jam games.
Def Jam Fight for New York would kind of change everything. N64 games, like I'm playing a lot of that. Dreamcast, Dynamite.
I missed that era too. That shit is hard though.
Yeah, like the Neo Geo has a lot of stuff. You guys don't even know that.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
Neo Geo, what is it? What is it?
Okay, so the
For
Neo
people that
Geo,
don't know.
The Neo Geo is made by a company called SNK, right? SNK is responsible. Do you guys know King of Fighters?
Yeah.
Okay, so the SNK makes that game.
Okay.
They also used to have a console called the Neo Geo, MVS, AES. One of the two. So one is the multi-video system. So basically, Neo Geo is responsible for a lot of the arcades back in the day. Okay. So all the arcade machines you were playing, more likely was a Neo Geo. They decided that they were going to basically bring the arcade experience into the home. So they made the Neo Geo either AES or MV, I can't remember right now, but it was wild expensive. Like it came out in like 91 and it retailed for about like $5 or $4. Shit. So like with inflation, it's like 2,000, right? I think today. So like they also marketed to adults. Whereas Nintendo was marketing to kids and families, So like Neo Geo's ads would be like, there would be like a half naked girl on the thing, and it would say like, real men play this, and like kids play, and they'll like throw hints to like Nintendo being like for kids and stuff like that. But like Neo Geo, to me, my stepbrother had an emulator, so I played a few of the Neo Geo games growing up, like on computer, and the music to the art to the animations was just like, it was different. Like it was a different universe. So they have a game called SNK versus Capcom. Yeah. So basically, Capcom versus SNK is when Capcom handles the characters and whatever, and then SNK versus Capcom, SNK handles it. So they both have crossover games, but when the separate studios take care of the character design and the animations, there's like a clear difference. And like SNK's animation was like way more fluid.
And
like
how did I never hear about Neo Geo?
Yo, a lot of people don't know about it. And I think a big part of that was how expensive it was back then, that like it just didn't really sell as much.
It's
like
so funny because I feel like back then there was so much creativity and like all these little things that were happening. Like a lot of things had storylines behind it.
Absolutely. But like now it's an experience.
And it's experience. Like now I think it's lacking that, you know what I'm saying? Like everything's just money.
Innovation nowadays has just slowed down.
I think people don't want to innovate. I think that's a big problem.
They're copying. I noticed like each game is copying something from another famous game and just recreating it.
Assassin's Creed,
Assassin's Creed's everywhere like made over like 25 times
without doing something new. Like people are just legit just being like, all right, I'm gonna take that from that and that from that, and you know. But
crazy.
Do you have anything coming up for the people that don't know you, don't know your work? Anything?
Man, if you have 30 minutes, just take the album in, and there's going to be something for you on it.
Get in the title one more time.
They said it would rain. ...
Oh, okay.
But like, take 30 minutes, or like, if you want, go to YouTube, watch the videos with it. Like, I think that it's hard to really put what I do into just one song or one particular thing. Like, just take like 5 minutes, go through the page. Like we've been at this for a while, and like there's just something for everybody at some point, but also like the art is good, man. Like I think people just need to just take 5 minutes, you know?
I just worth it.
So
real artists.
All right, so let me ask you. It's kind of the similar question, but like, all right. Let's say I'm a new artist, new person that's trying to listen to you. What song would you recommend them listen to first? Just one song.
I haven't even been able to answer this. I've been asked this a few times in the last little bit, and I haven't been able to answer properly. I would say Crash Site, just because I think it's a good balance of everything I do into one thing. So
fuck with that one.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Like a lot of people have been liking Crash Site, so it means a lot, man. I'm very grateful for that, man. But I think Crash Site, like, like is bouncy. Like it's a different type of bounce that I haven't felt in a while. Like, but then also towards the latter half of the song, there's a lot of piano stuff going on. Like I think versatile. I think it's a good balance of just like my whole. But then again, like you could listen to Validate, and that's some shit I haven't felt in a while too. So like, I don't know. Like I choose one. I think just choose one. Like I think I could safely say like literally just choose one, and
okay.
You'll find your vibe.
We truly appreciate your creativity.
And I also think when you choose one, when you choose another one, don't expect the same thing. Yeah, and I think that's the way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah.
1 mil in the bank or 5 mil, but you have to keep it on you at all times.
5 mil.
On you.
You have to keep it on you at all times if you take the 5 mil.
It don't matter how I hold it?
Nah, it's 5 mil.
5 mil, 5 mil. Okay.
I think I would do the 1 mil in the bank. I think that's just safer. Like, if I have to keep 5 mil on me at all times, bro, that could just go in many, many ways. Like
you're always gonna be tempted to spend it.
But you're walking with bags behind you, like
literally.
5 mil is not light.
How you gonna hide? Like, how you gonna explain your 30 bags of money with you the whole time? And it's like, yo, what is that? What's going on?
30 people holding the bags.
So it's not going nowhere.
Explain that, bro. I think 1 mil in the bank too. Like, if I'm allowed to make money, I'll just flip that. Like 1 mil is enough to flip nice, you know. And I'd rather it be safe than on me, bro. Like, you can't walk around with that.
Safety is important nowadays.
How do you guys feel about that?
I'm keeping that in the bank, even though banks are frauds and thieves. But I'd rather be safe. Maybe try one of those private banks. I've heard people are some people move towards those private banks where, especially if you're making $1 million, like maybe you don't want that at TD.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want that at TD.
Definitely not at TD.
Yeah, I'm not trusting any of these guys with that.
TD, crazy.
But
all mans are closing their accounts.
Yo, listen, bro. And I heard someone mention there being like data leaks happening.
Yeah, everywhere.
That was recent.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, I'm getting mad calls. I'm getting mad texts, emails from so and so. These guys are definitely selling the phone numbers.
I recently took in their default transaction limits. You have 3K for online spending as default, and then 1K for like taking out an ATM or actual purchasing.
Yeah,
which is so nuts.
Yeah,
you could lose crazy. 3 bands if someone hacks you.
Yeah.
I've heard people getting like 8 bands and stuff like that. Like it gets really messy out there. Yeah. And I don't know how it happens. And I'm like, I always ask them. I'm like, yo, how did you get your money took? And then they're just as surprised. They're like, yo, I don't know. I thought they tried to do the flip. They tried to flip the 500 for 5,000. So shit like that's going crazy in Toronto.
That's mad.
Yeah, but it's time to wrap up. You know, this is a point that we all hate. You know, but that has been our episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for not you guys, but thank you for being here.
Yo, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Clairmont the second on everything, YouTube, Spotify. You know, all the stuff that everybody uses. Social media, CT second.
And for those who can't spell,
CT SECOND. If you want to find me on YouTube or any of those other streaming platforms, CLAIRMONT THESECOND. You know what I mean? And just.
And do you have anything upcoming that like you would like to share? Anything that like exclusives or things that you're working on?
Just always working.
Yeah, always working.
Just always working.
Keep checking.
We definitely got some stuff though. We definitely have more videos to come out. We have more. There's music, but right now we got some videos to put out. We got some different art pieces put out, like photography things, like just different things in different worlds. And it's in the next little bit, and then also next year and the year after that, man. Like we're coming heavy. Like, for real,
Can't wait to check it out.
Yo, I appreciate you guys for having me, man. It means a lot, yo.
Maybe it gets better.
I love her, but need to leaving niggas on the cusp. Love seeing niggas, but hate niggas in the middle of it. But who gon' love me more than us? So what I'm running from? If you don't know about that hot top, then you hard to trust. Ain't no sitting done. When's the last you see me? No routines, I'm grouping up. I ain't a punky D. This how the time was in. You only hear the bit. Time to fish, now you dead. Ooh, family lost too much. We done lost too much. Family lost too much.